human beings are my brothers and sisters down here. And what their beliefs are is never going to make a difference to me. I'm going to love one just as much as I'm going to love all. And I know that if I start judging anybody, then I'm going to be hurting myself, because everything is about vibration. You can turn disease on, you can turn disease off with vibration. You can turn and it's all about electricity, isn't it? Because that's what vibration is. It's electrical. We are walking, talking, light energy, electrical human beings. And somebody that isn't alive has no electricity. Someone who is sick has very little electricity. Someone who loves, honors, and respects themselves has abundant energy and quick recovery time. And then I'm going to tell you, everybody out there, how long does it take you to get back into unconditional love for yourself and others after you get pissed off at yourself or someone else? So the length of time that it takes you to show unconditional love for that person who might have different beliefs, might eat differently, might even smell differently because of the food they eat, they might even talk differently, okay? The reality is, and they might have the most weirdest beliefs in the world. I'm going to tell you something. My beliefs are no better than anybody else's. And understand, if Jesus was here, Francisco, he wouldn't be saying what you're saying. He would be saying that unconditional love for all is the way. And the reality is, if I wanted to divide people on a planet, I would get many different colored people. I would get many different languages, many different religions, okay, and many different status groups. And I would make people think that they don't have unlimited potential at loving themselves or making money or getting healthy. And I'm not buying any of it anymore. And I'm really done with all of it, okay? So the reality is this. If we take a look at the majority of the population, which is, being sick, is 92%. If we look at the population that's overweight, is 80. Okay, if we look at the population that is actually obese today, is 60%. If we look at the 92% of the population that has an autoimmune disease today, you will find out that 60% of them have 2 to 3 different autoimmune diseases. And that means the body's attacking itself, which means that you had to be attacking yourself on an emotional level before you ever attacked yourself on a physical level. Because everything happens in the invisible before the physical, because the psychological overrules the biological. And of course, I believe in the divine energy of the universe. And it's invisible, but it has created everything that's in front of me, behind me, and around me. And I also know that it's teamwork that makes the dream work. So, and the reality is I'm going to honor and respect everyone that has loving and honoring beliefs. And those people that don't have honoring and respecting, protecting beliefs, then what I will do is I will turn away. I will not judge them. Because understand something, people are not their beliefs. Like, you are not your beliefs, okay? But somebody got you to believe that. So you're going to tell me that you came here with those beliefs. No. You were raised in a family, or you went to a church or a school, or you hung around with a group of people that actually said, these are the beliefs that you're going to take in. And I guess what I decided when I was around 19 years old, I'm going to make my own set of beliefs. I am not going to have the beliefs that are holding me back from loving all my brothers and sisters and helping to reach out to everyone. And then, you know what? I really got tired of being angry and hating other people. It really is draining. And I'll tell you something. That's all they got to do. All they got to do is divide us. All they got to do is pull us apart. And they don't just pull us apart family-wise or nation-wise, but they pull us apart with inflammation. And how do they do that? Well, they create anxiety. They create Black Lives Matter. And every life matters. They create situations to pretend that they're out there to protect people, but to get people pissed off at each other. So understand, the government doesn't work for us. It works for an internal government. The medical system works for the elite, and those elite are in control of the petroleum, and that's why all drugs are made from petroleum. So, and then the reality is that we'll have people come on and tell us that if we're not part of a certain religion, we're not getting into heaven. And I'll tell you something right now, heaven and hell is in the mind. And yet nobody knows what's after when we leave and our spirit body leaves. But the reality is I'm going to buy into every belief that creates heaven on earth for myself and lets everybody with a different belief off the hook here, because guess what? If I did judge those people, I might miss out on meeting somebody that I totally love. You know what? I'm going to tell you something. I have family that I've known all my life, and I'm meeting people every day that I meet for 1 minute, and I fall in love with them just as much as I do my family. And I'm going to keep on doing that. And why do I do that? Because that person lets me off the hook right away and just says, you know what? I'm not going to look at your color, your race, your religion. I'm going to look at what I feel from you, because we are emotional beings. You know what that means? That means energy and motion. So let's stop thinking, because most of us have stinking thinking. That's why we're rotten. I mean, you'll never hear that I have a disease. Did you get that? So just remember, you can curse me all you want, but I'll never have a disease because I let myself off the hook for everything. And if I make a mistake, it's just a mistake. You know what? I'm going to tell you something right now. I was raised, and my father raised me, and he was a pastor, and he said, you know what? We're all born sinners. That one I threw out right away. Okay. The other thing is that every time something happened, he called me a sinner and I'd have to pay. Well, the reality is it just made me more angry, and it pissed me off even more, and I became a little rebel. And then I realized something, okay, that he was wrong. I realized, guess what? To come down on this planet where I'm raised by parents that don't know how to love themselves or each other, okay, which my parents did not. And I love them anyways. And I love them oh God, I can't tell you how much I love my parents, because all of the beliefs that they had that were so crippling, and the great job that they did, even though they had these crippling beliefs. But you know what? I'm going to get rid of every belief that doesn't serve me and doesn't make me feel that I am, any belief that makes me feel I'm worthy, it's gone. It's absolutely gone. So you know what? And then people are going to say, well, you're really going to go to hell. Well, I'm the guy that's having fun every day. And if you think that which created the universe loves me 1 minute and hates me the next, okay, then that you think that actually created the universe needs a straitjacket and is probably on Prozac and needs to come and take my emotional training course. So the reality is that to come down on this planet, okay, you're all bravehearts. Everybody's bravehearts. Because let me tell you something. They poison the water. They poison the air. They poison the food. They poison the minds of every adult. That's why it's called adulteration. Okay? By the time that you can walk and talk, you're acting like your mother and father, but we end up getting punished by them because they forgot that we've mimicked them. And then by the time we're teenagers, we look for a new family because we're looking for one that will actually give us unconditional love. But because we were told that unconditional love was really great when we were a baby going goo goo gaga, but then when we started to walk and talk, then we got conditional love. And then we went through our life looking for somebody to fill up our heart. And every time that we would break up from that person, we'd have heart damage. And that's why heart disease is the main killer in the world, because your heart gets torn apart, because your heart is empty, because your heart's in pieces. And you can't live without love, just like you can't live without oxygen. But the reality is, what if you actually believed that there was no such thing as unconditional love, that people would just love themselves and fill up their own heart and then shine that light? What if all you knew is that all you had to do was you had to bust your butt to be able to get people to love you? You had to do things to make sure you got that love, and the love's contaminated anyways. I don't want anybody's love. I'll fill up my own heart, thank you, and I'll shine that light on all my children and my partner and the world. And if the world has a tantrum today, or it has a fart attack, gas attack, and it's in a bad mood, then I don't have to be peed off because that person was supposed to fill my heart up 10, 20, 30, 40, or 50%. So as long as I fill up my own heart and I have a slight smile on my face and I'm connected to my breath, I'm going to go to hell for that? Seriously. And I'm going to let everybody off the hook that doesn't have a belief that matches mine, but I'm going to let them off the hook anyways, because guess what? We're all programmed, Francisco. And this is for you. Everybody's programmed. And I'm going to write my own program, and that program is going to be unconditional love. It's not going to be a program that somebody else gave me. I'm going to keep what my father, my mother, my brother, my sister, the school, the church, what I like that serves unconditional love for me. Whether you think so or not, everybody thinks that there's certain books that have never been touched by the psycho elite. There's certain stories that have never been touched. Oh, no. Over thousands of years, they've said, we won't touch that, but we'll poison the air, we'll poison the food, we'll poison your mind, we'll poison everything. Seriously. Jesse, what do you think? Right. Yeah, and what if you unconditionally loved yourself, meaning that today and every moment I will love, honor, respect, protect, and forgive myself unconditionally before anyone else or anything else, so help me God. And what if you just decided to not punish yourself for anything but to learn and to correct and to apologize if you intentionally hurt someone? But today, guess what? Do you know how you hurt people? Have your beliefs not match theirs, and they will be offended. Most of the population walk around like victims, okay? And unless their beliefs are justified by a group of people, well, what do you think? I've spent all these years into these beliefs. I've got to justify them. I've got to protect them. Let me tell you, if we're not ready for change, then you're not ready for the new world. Because understand something, everybody is being demanded upon right now to bring up their frequency, to become the light. And that's what it's always been about. That's why we eat fruits and vegetables, because of the trapped light, the frequency. That's why we smile. When you smile, you bring up your pH. When you smile, you have more oxygen in your body. A person says to me, I've been chronically depressed forever. And I go, that is a hell of a lot of work. To be depressed? Oh my God, where'd you get the energy for that? And understand something, you can't get depressed unless you're a terrorist. Because do you know what depression is? Does anybody really know what the chemistry is of depression? It's anxiety. That's right. Because guess what? When you actually terrorize yourself enough, you actually cause inflammation. What's the first part of inflammation? It's inflame. And you're inflaming your brain. And your brain goes, I'm overheating. I've got to shut down. And it's like this. What's wrong? I don't know. I'm just depressed. Really? Well, maybe you need to see the doctor and get on some drugs. Probably. I don't want to feel like this. So I'm not making fun of people. And now they go on the medication, and then that just numbs them, dumbs them down even more. And now they've run. They've won already. So the reality is this. If I could get you to buy into something, or how about this? PTSD, which doesn't exist. Right? Only shell shock exists. So yeah, we all had shell shock, but if you tell a story long enough and strong enough, okay, then it becomes PTSD. So what if you told yourself a new story? What if you went back and you took that story and you decided I wasn't going to burn anymore, I was going to learn from it. And then you were going to tell yourself a new story, how you were the hero and you saved yourself, and you were going to start smiling, connecting to your lion heart breath, putting your shoulders back, your chin up, and you're going to go, what is my passion? What is my dream? And I'm going to get up tomorrow morning and I'm going to smile all day, even if I have to staple the sides of my mouth up. Because understand something, depression is something that you have to emotionally and physically buy into. Okay? And everything else in this world is going to be delivered on a silver platter to you to create you into some group, some following, okay, where you can individualize yourself and then come apart from everything else. And I won't have it. You know, people come here and they go, oh my gosh, do you follow Dr. Wolf? I don't want any followers. I want leaders. No, I don't want anybody coming here to follow me. You want to become a leader and you want to live your passion. You want to live your destiny. We all have a destiny here. And when we're depressed, when we're sick, okay, or when we think that we have the only way, okay, then that is a sickness. Well, you know what? We can't always control what happens to us. The world happens, and no matter what happens in the world, I choose to be happy anyways. Okay? So I don't even go that far. So here's the deal. Hi, Daryl. Yes, who's this? Oh, it's your aunt. What's wrong? Uncle Jim passed away. First thing I would do is think about all the things I liked about Uncle Jim. And if I didn't like Uncle Jim, I would work really hard in doing that, and also I would wish him a bon voyage. And you know what we've been taught in this lifetime is if this happens, we suffer for 1 hour. If this happens, we suffer for 1 day. If this happens, then we go to judgment jail and we'll keep ourselves there for 10 or 20 or 30 years. So the reality in all of that, we're still back to the old thing is beliefs. My family believed if you did this, you get this. And their family believed if you did that, you got that. And everybody has different beliefs. But who's right? Well, I'd say nobody's right, because we should all be working on unconditional love and care for ourselves. One love, one law. Let's just do that. Let's get rid of all religions. Let's get rid of all our heroes and become the hero of our own story. And then people are go, oh, you're going to get into trouble if you do that. Oh, really? Okay, we'll find out. We'll find out who's got the sniffle and cold. We'll find out who's got the aches and pains. And yeah, okay. I just love this part. Oh, Justin Trudeau, he's going to get his. Oh, really? When will that be? And he's not. So there you go. Okay. So why don't we go back in history and look at that? So they don't care if you hate him, like him. They don't care how much you talk about him. He's protected. And he's going to stay protected, because the so-called elite have always run the planet, but they're not running me. I'm not scared of them. I know they exist. I know that they have the power because they have always held the money, and they've always strategized. And you know why they strategize? They have one goal. And what is that? We might only be 50,000 strong. We're not 7 billion like all the human doings, okay? But we will always work together. What if we were to take the 7 billion people and make 4,500 different religions and make them all different colors, okay, and all these different foods and all these different languages, okay? They would never get along. And then what if we were to pretend that countries were going to attack us? Did anybody notice that since COVID, there's been no terrorism and no wars? Oh, no. No. Seriously, guys, are we done yet? It's just one big movie. And you know what? Is it okay if I'm the director, if I'm the producer, and if I'm the writer of my movie every day because I really don't like yours? The majority of the population have a terrible movie. It's either a horror story or a drama trauma, okay, or it's just some sad story that nothing happens. I'd rather have what? A fun-filled, life-threatening adventure where I pop out into the present moment every day and I become the hero of my own story. What do you think, Jesse? That's amazing. And you're amazing, Jesse. You're amazing. Okay? Yes, you are. Yes. And that's what it's all about. Remember something, everyone. This is not about being like me or being like anything. What if we truly learned how to make really beautiful, loving choices for ourselves? okay? And we live without judgment. It's okay to observe and not want something, but then why don't you change your attention to what you want, the life you want? What if we were to all ignore what was going on right now and we put 100% of that just into our dreams and goals? Well, let's put it this way. The bully in the schoolyard, he wouldn't know what to do with himself. And that's that. Oh, there's still bumps in the road. There's still bumps in the road. There's going to always be there. Yeah, and we continue to have the issues because that's what it is, But the reality is the people aren't the issues. What we want to do is just focus on the project, and the project is about trying to teach people that if they were to strategize on an emotional and physical level their day and really pour themselves into it, because that's really what it's all about. If we can keep people distracted long enough and strong enough, they're going to get sick. If we can tell people that it's okay and it's not selfish, okay, to know what your needs are, okay, to grow on an emotional level and to feed your spirit, because if you do that, then you're not going to have any illnesses. And that's it. And your recovery time is going to be so fast. Remember something. It's really crazy, isn't it? So you get people that are chronically ill, Jesse, and what's the problem? They need energy to get well. But how do you get energy to get well when you became chronically ill due to your personality? But people don't get that. They think that, if I pour enough supplements into me, if I use enough willpower, so we don't understand that if we change our reality, we'll change our personality. And if we change our personality, then we're actually going to take the psychological and overrule the biological. And that's why you'll find people saying, I've had cancer 2 times, 3 times, right? I'm a cancer survivor. Well, let's have just thrivers that never have cancer the first time. And that would be the goal. The funniest thing is that human beings, they don't know how to stay in the present moment. The majority of the population are in the present moment, 2 to 5%, and that's too bad. But the reality is it's because of the way the brain was built. 90% of the brain is subconscious. So, what happens is if you live in a subconscious world, unconscious, subconscious world where your prominent and dominant beliefs rule and school you, when we know that from 0 to 7, 70 to 90% of all your beliefs that you operate with, even though you're 70 or 90 years old, all were from 0 to 7. And people don't know that. People don't say, okay, wait a second here. Do I like my life? Do I like my health? Could it be better? Do I like my finances? Could it be better? And well, yes, most people would say yes. Well, then the reality is you can't say I hate change, because the first change that's going to have to happen is your personality. And if you can make changes in your personality, you're going to make changes in your reality. I know this. When I came into the health business for the first probably 12 years, it was bring me your dying, bring me your sick. I wanted to prove that I could heal people, that I was worthy. And what I found is that I was in debt most of the time, but I worked for 12, 14 hours a day. And that just does not work. So the reality is I never healed anyone. Strategies and techniques and showing people how to change their mind. Please change your mind, would you? Could you change your mind? Okay? Because where the brain goes, the body follows. And because your brain is 90% subconscious, you do know that the subconscious part of your brain only has one use: to store prominent, dominant thoughts that probably aren't yours. And so keep on running them. So if we only 10% of our brain is in the conscious moment, you're going to have to work really hard, and you're going to have to repeat something. So you can either be insanely miserable or insanely happy after you're done. Because even if after a while, I don't have to think about loving, honoring, respecting, and protecting myself or forgiving myself unconditionally. that becomes a program. Because now I don't have to work hard at it, but I had to work hard at it for years. Now, because I love myself unconditionally, do you know how many people I hurt in my family and how often I'm not there for them? Never. Never. But I'm never there now because of guilt. And I also don't stick my nose into my family's business or other people's business when they've got things to learn. I'll just sit on the sideline and I'll be there if they want me or need me. Well, there was no restrictions here. I haven't seen any. There's no travel restrictions in the country. You can't travel from here back to Canada right now unless you have a PCR test, but you can go to the United States with an antigen test, you know? And, it all depends on who the leader of the country is, right? I mean, take a look at Florida, totally free state. Texas, free state. Arizona, almost a free state. Okay, Mexico, you can go into a large grocery store like Sam's here, and they're going to demand that you wear a mask. Okay, but I won't wear a mask. I don't wear masks. And when I came to the hotel, the Ixtapa resort here, everybody wore masks. Now nobody wears a mask. There might be the odd person who wears a mask, but that's their choice because they believe that they could be in trouble. So I'm not going to tell them not to wear the mask, and I'm not in charge of them anyways. But the reality is it's all about herd, isn't it? It's all about the herd. If the herd decides they're not going to wear the mask, they don't wear the mask. If most of the herd wears the mask, then everybody wears the mask because nobody really gives it too much of a thought because it's so easy to program a human being. So, but I'm going to tell you something. I don't know. We move free all over the place without it. So I don't know what to say. I just will never, I will not ever move back to Canada. Why would I go back to the cold? Why would I go back to where they could starve us out if they wanted? Turn off the electricity. I mean, if they turn off the electricity right now, I'm going to go to the beach for a swim. Huh. Right? Okay. All right. And I can go fishing if I want to go get fish. And there's tons of fish coming in every day. They're only 10 kilometers from here is one of the best fish markets I've ever seen. And fruits and vegetables are so plentiful. And, the food here is about 30% of the cost, right? Yeah. And at the end of the day, I got to tell you, I learned something that was so valuable to me, Jesse. I came down here with 2 suitcases. Now, my shirts, that are the different shirts I have to wear for shows, they came and they're in the back of this room. But the reality is, whoa, the reality is, Jesse, I'm still living out of those 2 suitcases when I'm not doing a show because all the other clothes that I had, which is a ton of clothes, I haven't even opened it up yet. So you just don't need it. And it's really great. I don't want to be a consumer anymore. Okay, and I don't want to be consumed anymore. I just really love it here. I mean, I'm always in shorts. I hardly even ever wear sandals. Hey, Gad, do I wear sandals?
You wear sandals or no shoes?
No shoes, no shoes. I wear no shoes when I can get away with it. I just don't wear shoes. Even okay, I went to get my hair cut yesterday, no shoes. Okay, when I go to the restaurants here, I wear no shoes. Okay, I just love it. I love the freedom, and yeah, we're all different, but that's who I am. And I just love going to taking a couple of noodles. Okay, those noodle floaties. And I'll put one under my arms and one under my legs, or one under my arms, and then I'll go out and swim for like an hour and a half. Okay, out in the ocean. All that iodine, all that salt that's getting in and just cleansing, and the sun. Oh, and Jesse, there's no chemtrails down here. Not one. No chemtrails. Yeah.
Just somehow there's no condensation behind the planes there, and just somehow the condensation lights up the sky everywhere else. I was going to say about the no shoes, earthing,
Yes, I am.
connecting your electrical being to the vibrational, to the magnetic energy of the earth, and that's healing in itself. And more people could get a lot of benefit just from taking off their shoes and walking outside when it's not super freezing cold.
Yeah. Well, It's winter here right now. And in the winter time, it's 28, 29 every day. Okay. And at night, this is the first and last 2 weeks we haven't had any type of air conditioning or any fans. It's cool enough, and it'll stay that way for another 2 months. So yeah, we love it, and I'll tell you right now, some days we go to the airport 6, 10 times picking people up that are moving down here, coming down for our certification courses, our personal treatment and trainings, or just coming down for treatments. And then about 20 to 25% of the group that come here, they come and they stay here, and they don't take any treatments, any courses. They just want to go away on a holiday, but they want to go someplace that they know is going to be safe and nobody's going to hassle them, right? And they know they're going to have it nice. And they'll just come to my morning meetings. And then in Ixtapa here, you've got about 50 miles of beautiful bike trails. I mean, paved, beautiful bike trails. Okay, and you'll find that almost in every town in Mexico. All these bike trails. Okay, and then just so people know, this whole thing about the cartel, it's not true. Not around here. 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, you can go anywhere. It's peaceful. If anything, people are going to say, "Can I help you? Are you okay? Are you lost?" Okay. I have never heard anything bad happen to anybody since I've been here. And I'm not going to lie for the place. It's just that it's so peaceful, and the people are at peace. Okay. I don't know what would happen in Canada or United States if they start taking away all the things from the people that are used to having all their toys and all their luxuries, right? Whereas when you live in Mexico or you come down to Mexico, nature is the luxury and nobody can steal it from you. If they could steal the beach, they'd do it. If they could steal the water, they'd do it. If they could steal the sky, they'd do it. If they could steal all of the beautiful mountains that are around us, they do it. But they can't do it. Where are they going to put it? How would they steal it? So the reality is, you know, when you have a rich environment to live in, you don't need to consume a whole bunch of things to try to fill your life up. And I mean, that's the whole thing. Get closer back to nature. You know, learn that you're responsible to fill up your own heart. Learn that you need to heal yourself, and it's done on the invisible level, because the invisible creates the physical, and every disease is a block. Every disease started off as an emotional block that went to a physical block. If people go and watch my emotional chemistry of cancer, disease, and healing in my library, they'd find out it's all science. It's all based on science. If right now, I believe that we have the most powerful healing library in the world. I mean, self-care. I mean, a person could go into my library and watch the videos, never have to call me, never have to do anything, and we're going to give them more information about healing themselves than anywhere else. And it's all laid out really simple, really easy. And isn't that the way it should be, Jesse? You know that. And the reality is what if we really did care for everybody, and what if we really wanted everybody to have everything? There's enough of everything to do that. The world is the way it is because I really believe, Jesse, that the world's never going to change. Okay? Okay? Because understand, nobody needs to be dying of a disease. They don't. They don't. Nobody needs to be starving. Nobody needs to have thirst. There's enough of everything on this planet. Okay? All right? There's enough of everything. But think about it, Jesse. 7 billion people couldn't come up against 50,000 people. Right? And then you know what people say? We're the most intelligent species in the universe. Yeah. Do you get out much? Yeah.
Proud because pushing back, and they're actually, things are starting to move here, and I'm actually really proud of people that they're
I am really
starting.
proud of them, but guess what? It's going to be a long haul. And understand this, okay? They're going to have to stay strong, because the more freedoms you give up and the longer you do it, the harder it is to get them back. And understand something. This group did not plan this yesterday. They've been planning this for probably a quarter of a century, and money doesn't mean anything to them. So the reality is they will try to see if we tire, okay? So it's like anything else, Jesse. in a relationship when she's saying to you, can we please talk? And you say no. Can we please talk? And you say no. And then she's got her bags packed and she's leaving. How hard is it going to get her to not go out the door? Try to get her back into the door. Try to get her back into your life. So don't get me wrong. I am totally blown away, and so is the world, about the Canadians, because the Canadians are just nice people that go, what can I do about it? Yay. So, but that's not the reality. No, they're shining. But I will tell you, if you took a look at Trudeau, he came on for half an hour and he said, what did he say? No, what did he say? Oh my God. I mean, he said things about the truckers that aren't true, that, they're destroying things, they're saying things, they're threatening people. None of that is going on. And he was just like, either you're with us or you're against us. And we're coming for you. That's what the message was. And the reality is he doesn't have to do anything. He's just a little puppet. And he just needs to deliver the message and just stay low. Because understand something, nobody heard of him until he became prime minister, because that was all planned out.
Yep, and it's going on right now. There's blocking in the Coots border. There's another blockade, and they're actually going against. That's the Alberta American border. The truckers have made a stand there. The farmers came and went and joined in on the blockade. And there's an RCMP guy that said, he goes, as long as you guys stick together, there's strength in numbers.
Yes.
And that's what Canadians are showing right now.
Yes.
The strength in numbers, and they're trying to justify, by any means to discredit the movement, but the movement is beautiful, and I'm proud to be Canadian right now. I have a lot of American friends that said, I can't even believe that Canada was the one that actually initiated this, because of how nice how nice Canadians are.
I can, because I really truly can, because I am a Canadian. But I'm not down in Mexico because of this situation. We planned to move here. It took us 5 years to get here. So it was just a coincidence that by the time that this rolled out, I was down here a month or two when things really started to shut down.
He said he's lifting the restrictions and the vax passports, and Saskatchewan said they're lifting them. Quebec said they're no longer going to be fining people for not getting the juice, and so they're making some headways, and that's a good thing that people are finally had enough of this craziness.
Well, you know what? And think about it, though. Think about it. What has it done for people, though? I know there's people that are struggling with their businesses and everything, but hasn't it sparked their spirit again? Don't you think that we kind of lost our spirit before this thing started? Okay? I mean, I think that if you feed your spirit, and if we were all to come together and learn how to feed our spirit and then shine that light on each other, we would never have to be here again. But we get lazy and we forget, don't we?
Have you ran into any of the people in Mexico that have, kind of moved down there? I know Jeff Bierwick was down there. Max Egan's now down there.
Yes.
Sasha Stone's down there.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? There's a bunch of people that have, kind of jumped ship to Mexico. Have you been able to get into contact and maybe see any of the other people that have, been going down to Mexico?
Well, I was supposed to lecture for the Acapulco, right? And I probably will next year. They weren't as organized as I thought they would be this year, but that's Jeff's thing, right? And then I just lectured for the Greater Reset in Morelia just last week.
How did that go?
It went great. They had 150 people. I mean, next year there'll be 300. They'll double it, no problem, right? And everybody's just kind of getting their groove, right? It's like everything else. We're just getting started. It's not like people have been strategizing this, okay? It's like they're only starting to come together. Can you guys turn the air conditioning off? Thank you. It's people only started coming together, like, let's say, about a year ago, right? It's not like the, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. It's the air conditioning. It's not like the people that created this thing. They've been working on this for how many decades, right? So, we're just getting our engines started. But yeah, but the reality is there's a lot more of us. And I think that it's like anything else. When you start having a group of people that say that we can do it, and other people go, oh my gosh, look what they did. Nobody killed them yet,
Well, apparently in the Coons border, the RCMP they came with they were all dressed in black and the masks, and they kind of came at the truckers.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they all stood up and started going towards them, and they didn't know what to do. They didn't want to shoot them. They didn't know what to do, so they all hightailed it and they backed off and they were out because of the strength in the numbers. And that's what we have an advantage, is that, for one, most of these people are just following orders and doing, their job. They don't really want to be going against the people, but, they think about their pension or their
Right.
paycheck or whatever it is that keeps them
I'm
against
just doing my job. I'm just doing my job. Okay.
I'm just doing my job type of mentality that gets them to go against the people. But they don't really want to. And, some people have jumped ship. A lot of people, I just listened to an ex-RCMP that, from Ontario that used to guard the Prime Minister. And he says, I'm been losing my job now. But he says, what's going on right now, he cannot be a part of, because it goes against all the constitutional, the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. He says, and he swore to uphold the law, and what's happening is going against the law and is going against people's rights, and he can't be a part of it. And more good, police officers, because there's lots out there, are jumping ship because they don't want to support tyranny over the people or hurt their brothers and sisters.
And I totally agree with you, but you know what? But let's not lose focus here, okay? Let's not lose focus, all right? On how we got into this position, okay? People don't eat right. They don't think right. They don't drink right. They don't look after themselves, Jesse. You know that, okay? You know that there's a lot of emotional and physical abuse in every family. What are we going to do about that? So we get our rights back, and what are we going to do to make people have healthier minds, healthier diets, healthier lifestyles? If that never changes, then we're going to just go back to the same thing. If we can't get people to believe that they have to go in and retrain their brain and get rid of dysfunctional beliefs and one love, one law, unconditional love for oneself and everybody else, where are we going to be? So when the fight's over, we came together to take back our power. What did that do for the families? What did that do for the changing of the personalities and the choices that people make? There wouldn't be a gazillion drive-thrus, and there wouldn't be a gazillion liquor stores, and there wouldn't be a gazillion corner stores, and there wouldn't be a gazillion drug stores if people weren't poisoning themselves. So what are we going to do when we get our power back? Did we really get our power back? I mean, we're not going to get our power back until we make better choices on where we spend our dollar, and until our home becomes a love zone, health zone, and somebody's going to stand up inside the home to get the rights back. What is the rights? Okay, the right to unconditional love and the right to a good diet. Who's going to do that, Jesse?
You.
No, no. You know what? I would like to say that, but we need an army of people, and we need repetition, because people don't learn unless it's repetition. And you know as well as I do that even if we get all our rights back, TV's not going to change. The news is not going to change. The government's not going to change. The medical system is still going to be the medical system. So what's going to change? So I just would like you to know that if we don't change internally, then the systems aren't going to change externally. So after the fight is over, Jesse, this is a really good question I want to ask everybody, because most of the people that are really popular and that are on YouTube and are fighting the good fight, Even when we get our rights back, what about our health? What about our wealth? What about actually coming together as human spirits? How's that going to change? So I'm never going to let that part go. So I don't want to get too wrapped up in this, okay? To say, hey, good, we got our rights back. Let's go home and go back to the way we used to live, because the way we used to live got us into this position.
Totally. And I think, with this new system or new way of life, the old is going to crumble. The pharmaceuticals are going to crumble. The governments are going to crumble. Things are going to crumble. And, I think that's going to happen in our lifetime. There's a lot of people out there that don't believe that, we can change this and make a difference. But I have faith. And
they're not going to crumble, Jesse. They need to go bankrupt. That means people have to stop going in the door. So how are you going to stop people from getting the alcohol and the drugs to numb themselves out? How are you going to do that? How are you going to stop people from the chemical addictions of the new and improved food?
Well, I hear that there's some foods that are coming from the inner earth, and there's going to be some really good, healthy, healing foods, and what the new system or the new way of life that's coming, into place. I have some high hopes for. We're going to have some growing pains, obviously, what we're going through right now, but I do have faith in humanity, and I do believe that we were brought here for a reason, and
You know what, Jesse?
to make a difference.
Jesse, we already have really great food. Okay? We already have really great food. We don't need it from inner earth. That almost reminded me of Elon Musk. Who wants to go to Mars, guys? Meanwhile, we already know there's no life there. But let's get all excited because we need to be preparing so when we destroy Earth that we can go to Mars. And this is the same guy that wants to put the neural link in your brain. So the reality is let's stop wishing for the fairy tale that they tell us, and let's start doing what we can right now, because we already have everything we want and need right now. We really do. If you don't change the mind of someone, you don't change the life of someone. So how are you going to do that when we know that 90% of a brain is the subconscious and people only work from their prominent dominant beliefs? How are you going to get a new prominent dominant belief of love, honor, and respect yourself first and foremost before anyone else or anything else, so help me God, and make healthy choices? How are you going to do that? Because if you could do that, Jesse, okay, then you are the savior.
People have programmed by the media, by their television, just as long as the right programming comes onto these boxes, then you can help people. And you can, if people are, getting fed the information, you need to eat your fruits and vegetables, you need to stay away from the drive-thrus. This kind of information starts coming through, the right channels, they're programming, because they're just as easily as they were programmed, they can be easily programmed into healthy habits and into a better way of life.
That's a good dream, but I don't believe it's going to work. I really believe that a person needs to submerge themselves into something to a point that it saturates every cell. And this isn't about me, but you know what? The only time I've seen people change, and like Saturday we start a new course. We just finishing one tomorrow. So people will come here for 10 days, and they'll submerge themselves into what we call a whole life coach course, which is to teach you how to reprogram your brain. Because everybody knows what they'd like to see and like to have, but people don't have the strategies for it. And they also don't have the patience for it, because we've been taught not to have patience for ourselves. So I really believe that people need to be submersed in it. They have to get themselves out of their environment that they're in. Because the environment that you're in created you. The 5 people you hang around with the most, you're the average of. And that would be the people that you live with, hang around with the most. Unless you're going to change your environment and the people that you hang around with, and you go into a new environment that has a new belief system, okay, one that helps you actually erase and replace dominant, prominent beliefs to higher vibrational beliefs, and beliefs that when you actually make a choice and nobody else at the table's making it, but you have enough power to stand in your power and say, no, I'll just have this tonight. And then if you could stay in your power for 9 months, because within 6 weeks to 3 months, you do know that anybody who tries to make a positive change in a family or in a group, after 6 weeks to 3 months, the rest of the group subconsciously, unconsciously attacks the person that has the higher vibrational thoughts and programs. You do know that. That's the nature of the beast. Okay? So that person would have to be able to have a not willpower, because that runs out. They would have to have enough self-love for themselves to say, no, I know the mission. I'm going to hold the line. No, everybody, you know what? Go ahead and eat it. But when I do, I don't feel good, and I want to feel good. And that's all. That's all you need to say. No, I'm not going to do that. No, I'm not going to do that for you anymore. I'm not going to do that. And you're not going to talk to me like that anymore. And I know that we have a dysfunctional relationship, but I want to have a functional one with myself, so I have a better one with you. So even though we do get these rights back, Jesse, and things go back to whatever you call freedom, okay, Jesse, because I don't believe that people are free until they're free in here. I don't care what's happening out here, because that's not freedom. Never has been. I don't know. There's never been freedom on this planet. We just have been used to becoming slaves on this planet. So I'm going to go and I'm going to be where I need to be as free as possible, because that means the most to me. And I'll tell you something. In Mexico, people are free. They're a lot freer than anywhere I've ever seen. And there's too many rules. Okay, ruled, schooled, and fooled. Canada has too many rules. They're too organized. They've got too much strategy going on. People will think they're getting their rights back, and it may not happen again in our lifetime, Jesse, but they're just going to reorganize, okay? They're going to reorganize and then come back at everybody again. Yes or no, Jesse? Has it happened many times in history?
Yeah.
Do you want to count them, Jesse? Do you want to go back and we'll do it together?
No.
Okay, well, thank you. But the reality is this: it's going to happen again unless we personally change. And so if you don't like change, then you're going to be in trouble, because you need to change. I say to myself, I need to change my personality by 1% every day, or I'm not growing. Because what's growth? Growth is changing your personality. So if you're the same guy that you were 5 years ago, then you've had no growth. And I guarantee you that you probably have an autoimmune disease. I guarantee you don't have a lot of energy. I guarantee you that you've been trying to lose the same 10 pounds or 20 pounds for 5 years. I guarantee you're up and down like a yo-yo, because you're still trying to use willpower instead of erasing, replacing dysfunctional beliefs and bringing in higher beliefs. And those higher beliefs are built on loving yourself more. But then guess what? If there's one thing, and it's the hardest thing for anyone to ever do, is love themselves. Every time that we start a course with people, I say, how much do you love yourself? After about the first 2 hours. We'll be doing it again on Saturday. And most people are going to, at the beginning, first when they get in, go, I love myself. And I guarantee you, Jesse, I've got almost 30 people in this course here. And within the first 4 hours, we'll have everybody going, I don't even know what love is. Self-love, that is. And yes, I've been trying to love everyone and do everything for everyone all my life, because I was told that if I did enough, okay, that I would get enough. But now I understand that I was never enough until I am to myself. And this is why we may get our rights back, but we're going to do it all over again.
I have more faith. I think we're going to fix it. I think with people like you, and there's lots of other people.
I didn't say I didn't have faith. Did I? And guess what? Fix what? Tell me what you want to fix.
Got to fix their beliefs in themselves.
Okay, well, how are they going to do that? How are they going to do it, though? We need a strategy, though, Jesse. We just can't have faith. You know as well as I do. We can't have faith. We need also massive personal action, which means we need a strategy. How are we going to get people? I'm being realistic here. I want you to help me right now. How are we going to get people to buy into strategizing loving and caring for themselves, that they will never let anyone ever dishonor them again. That's what I want to put out to everybody out there tonight that's watching this. I wasn't challenging Jesse. I'm not telling you he's wrong. Faith is a good thing, but unless we can take massive personal action and we have a strategy to get people to do that in loving and caring for themselves, that they do not allow people to dishonor or disrespect them again, or make them do things that they know they don't want to do, but they don't have the power. They feel they don't have the power to look after themselves. How are we going to get people, Jesse, to no longer be the prey to the predator? How are we going to get people to stand up and not be scared, okay, of fear, false evidence appearing real? Because whatever you feed gets stronger. How are we going to help people to not be so fearful? That's my question to everybody else tonight. And let's search for answers like that. How can you help your brother, your sister, your mother, your father? How can you help yourself to stand in your power and not react anymore, not react and attack anymore yourself or anyone else, but to take massive personal action and hold the line like a braveheart?
How many people do you think that you've been able to help, say, per month or per year to find that, to find their brave heart? Like, you're actually
Millions.
actively helping people.
Millions,
So,
millions. And I know that.
so say, you know, we did
Yeah,
get
but Jesse, how many
control of-
people risk talking like me?
Right, but what I'm saying though is, if we do get control of the, say, the broadcasting systems, and we had you go on mass media, on mass shows, and helping people, couldn't we help a lot of people like that way? Not just
Okay,
millions,
here's the
hundreds of
deal.
millions, or even billions of people, if you were broadcasted for the world?
I'll make a deal with you. I'll do it for free for the rest of my life. You get me the broadcasting that we can do that, and I'll do it. The problem is how do we get the broadcasting? So if you can do that, I'll do the other part. And you know what? I have faith that you could pull that off. But I do, and I'm not making fun of you. I'm telling you that I believe you could do something like that.
And I believe one of the reasons why I'm here is to make a difference. And
Jesse,
you know,
you've made a difference in my life, for pity's sakes. And you made a difference in all of the people that watch my shows, because I send them to you. Jesse, you are so soft, so gentle, and so powerful. And I love you, buddy. I really do. You are such a beautiful human being. And everybody that's watching this show thinks the same thing. So there you go.
Thanks, brother. I really appreciate
Well,
that.
I mean it. I mean it. You know, who else would I do a show for at 7:30 at night after coming to work at 5:30 this morning to do a show?
You're awesome, and I love you, brother. I really appreciate your friendship, and I think this is amazing that we've been able to connect, and I see so much in the future, and I'm going to figure a way to get you on, you know, mass, you know, television, and I can make things happen. It's amazing when I set my mind to something, how
I know.
it just happens.
And I want everybody to understand something. I just wanted to stir it up a little bit, okay? If I don't come on and stir it up a little bit and get you going emotionally a little bit, then it's like monotone. We can't do that. You know, wasn't there times in this thing tonight that you're like, I don't know if I like him? And you probably are saying right now, I don't think I like him at all. But the reality is my job is not to get you to like me. My job is to get you to love yourself and buy into that one. If I could get you to buy into loving yourself, then my job's over. That's it. That's all it is. If you could love yourself more, wouldn't that be great? And what would you do if you loved yourself more? Well, you'd certainly have a lot more fun with yourself, and that could be a good starter.
Amazing start. Let's change the tune up a little bit.
Sure.
Our friend Roger here, he's asking, can we help people with the spike proteins from the injections and fix the rest of the past indiscretions?
Yes, we can. And I'll tell you that, and I already know that because we're already doing it, okay? And we can. And that's a really loaded question. So the first thing we got to do is we've got to get them to buy into a new belief. And the new belief is that the people that have the spike proteins are not killing their family or killing themselves. That's the first thing, because the mind is the most powerful thing. and we get that off the board. I had a naturopathic doctor here that does not really care for me a lot, and he goes around telling everybody that's coming to Ixtapa Palace, okay, that we will not allow people that have been vaccinated to come to the World Healing and Training Center, and he no longer is allowed on the property. So the reality is fear mongering can hurt a lot of people. Now we have probably, I'd say about 25 to 30, maybe 30% of the people are vaccinated that are coming here. And we know the things to do. We use a device called Cell Sonic, which puts in 25,000 volts into the body in a love harmonic. It's the only device in the world. We'll use C60. You do know that they were trying to make it legal to bring C60 into France because it brings down the symptoms of the V and the C. Okay, and it does. Okay, because it reconditions whatever part of the body needs to be reconditioned. Okay, and then also our black gold, which is the only non-toxic humic fulvic in the world. Did you know that? We have the only non-toxic humic fulvic in the world. No heavy metals. And it's nanoparticle, and it crosses the blood-brain barrier, and it will pick up 70 times its weight in acidity, heavy metals. How's that? Is that good enough? And it will drop off 70 micronutrients into the cells. So we do that also using iodine, but we use infinite iodine, so we can go in with 1.5 ounces of the iodine to supercharge the body, bring down infection, and bring down the inflammation. And believe it or not, curcumin cayenne, okay, we have one called curcumin cayenne 5000, will go in and bring down inflammation so fast in the body. One of the best products in the world, right from inflammation to cancer. Okay. Next thing is making sure you drink hot water. Believe it or not, hot water, and make sure it's structured, because structured water is rainwater, fast-moving rivers, waterfalls, and it has all the memory taken out of it, but it has the lowest surface tension, so it has the ability, and structured water has no memory left. So you can add whatever you want to it, to the memory, and then bring it in, and it'll cross the blood-brain barrier and go into the cells easier to deliver the nutrition and bring out the toxins. And understand something. Don't let yourself, if you've been the VE'd, don't let yourself get constipated and back up your liver. You'll be toast. So make sure your bowels keep moving. We use a product called Daily Cleansing Tea. There's no stimulants. There's no laxatives in it. And if you just did the tea and nothing else in the morning and at night, because the large intestine is 85% of your immune system, your bacteria are the smartest part of a human body, not the brain, but the bacteria. And the bacteria are actually what we call the second brain. The gut-brain connection it all depends on the bacteria in your large intestine. Don't let them come after you with things like antibiotics unless you're in a life-threatening situation, or else you'll be in one, because that is your immune system. The other thing is look at the ultimate coffee enema. Most people that are getting the V, they're usually around, they're a little older, aren't they? Especially the elderly. And how often have they ever cleaned out their liver? So the only thing that'll actually clean out the liver is a coffee enema. So take a look at the ultimate coffee enema using what we call Tummy Love and Black Gold. You can see that in the do-it-yourself guide in my library. But if you flushed out your liver and you renewed your liver and your large intestine became the holy grail of your immune system, and everything that you grabbed to eat and you said, will this bring my vibration up? Will this nourish me? Will this cleanse me? Or is this going to bring my vibration down and make me more toxic? And then the other thing, yes, what you got to do. If you're in a toxic relationship, get out. Because it doesn't matter anything that you do if you have a toxic relationship with yourself or with another person, that vibration, because everything is frequency, everything is vibration. If you don't believe me, why do you think they did the V? Because when they want to turn on a frequency, what do you think is going to pick it up? And that frequency.
Inside of you.
That's right. And I don't even want to say it because I don't even want to go down the road of fear mongering. But the reality is, did you ever notice something? We got the evil elite. Oh my God, they did something to us. It's the end of the world. Oh my God, did you hear what happened? What? Out of the jungle came this answer. So there's always going to be an answer, and that answer is you. Don't believe anything that you hear. In science, okay, so now, Judy Mikovits, a friend of mine, Dr. Judy Mikovits, and she says that if you got the V, and the more you have the V, the more dangerous it's going to be, and your life is not going to be great. It might even expire. But that's if you live like the majority. Do you eat, drink, and think like the majority? Don't. Change your personality, change your reality, connect to your breath, and know that you deserve to heal. And then picture yourself being healed. Okay, so picture yourself. Here's A on what you want in your life. Okay, what's that you want in your life? Picture that. Now picture that you're already there. And when you think about it, I want you to think about it. And when you think about this, don't have anxiety and go, it's got to happen now. Just relax, connect to the lion heart breathing, 6 seconds in, 7 seconds out, slight smile on your face, and leave the rest up to God. Except make really high vibrational choices. The people you hang around with, because understand something. Did you ever walk into a room and go, I don't belong here? Then why'd you go in? Did you ever walk into a relationship and go, what the heck am I doing here? Why'd you stay there? Okay, so start honoring and respecting and loving yourself. And I'm not telling you to throw your relationships away, but you know when you've tried your best. And have you tried your best? So just make really better choices. You know, should I eat that? Should I drink that? Because here's one for you, everyone. Did you know that everything that you've ever ate or drank left your body? Not one component of it stayed in your body except the frequency. Did you know that the whole physical matter of the human body was all created by the frequency that was in the donut or in the apple? And you can certainly tell those people that ate donuts, can't you? Okay, they have a hole in their head. Okay, so understand something. It's all about frequency. We are light energy, electrical, magnetic beings. So why don't you use what they're using against us? Blue light, 5G, okay, nanoparticles. And why don't you start using the healing frequencies given to us by the divine and bring up your frequency? Bring up the vibration so much that nothing can take you down. And I'm telling you, I already know it. Okay, we have people that are coming here, and within days, okay, by drinking the juices we make, by doing the cell sonic, by getting non-surgical and getting rid of the scar tissue in their body, getting rid of the fibroids, and by doing calcium ion therapy and getting all the calcium back into the bones and melting the crystallization in your body, you're new again. Remember something. The only reason why you feel old is because you feel stiffer. And the only reason why you're stiffer is all the displaced calcium, the crystallization, and the scar tissue you created by the inflamed brain, okay, from anxiety, stress, and worry, and making poor decisions on what you eat, drink, and think. And they're poor decisions, but you're not stupid. You've been programmed to do it. You got to understand something. The only reason why they flipped the switch and said it's time to harvest all the humans is they said, oh my God, they're the walking dead. Look at them. They're overweight. They can't think, okay? They can't get off the couch. They're exhausted. Get them.
Well, besides that last part, that was beautiful. I love your optimism. I love the way that you're putting into practice these healing techniques.
Well, what was wrong with the last part? They set us up. They made it too easy to go into the drive-thru. The corner stores everywhere, okay?
I never said that anything was that it wasn't true. I was just everything you were saying was beautiful. And
Yeah.
then you added in that.
Then I had to go and ruin it.
That last part, I'm like, okay, well, I want to say that was all beautiful, but when you just said that didn't put out such a beautiful picture.
Just know something. The reality is this. We have to tell people that it is the decisions they're making. And there's people sitting on the couch right now that are going, that sounds like me, and that's enough. And the reality is from this moment on, I'm going to start making high vibrational decisions, and I'm going to stop thinking, and I'm going to start feeling. Because we're emotional beings. And when you start feeling your way through life, you won't get it wrong. It's more than a gut feeling. It's called your instinct. It's called your spirit.
So 2 questions here. First one, Sabrina's asking, how much does your course cost? And then second one is from Elizabeth Sunshine. She says, how do you heal a broken heart?
How do you heal a broken heart? Well, the reality is this. That's kind of I'll go back to the other one in a second, but that's kind of a tough thing because the reality is, as I already told you, you can't live without love. And if you've never practiced loving yourself and that you are the sunshine of your life and you're looking for the sunshine of your life and it's another human being, you've got one hell of a bumpy road. Because I'm going to tell you something, and please don't get me wrong. And this is where, you know, Jesse's going to go, oh, it was going good until you said that again. Okay, so the reality is that what are you going to do when the honeymoon's over? Okay, what are you going to do after 5 or 10 years? Things change. You know, the reality, what if we came together as spirit beings? And what if we came together, I'll be responsible for filling up my heart and you be responsible for filling up your heart. But just know this, every time I see you, you make my heart explode. You make me feel goosebumps all over my body. The vibration you give me is unbelievable. But what if I never filled up my heart and I left it up to you to fill it up and to give me that vibration every day? Nobody can do that. Nobody can withstand that. But what if we found another person that said, I'll fill my heart up and I promise you that I love, honor, respect myself and love myself. But oh my God, do I love being with you. And I want to be with you as another spirit being. And I want us to come together and have the greatest love affair of our life and the greatest adventure. And I want us to continually grow together, go together. What if we came together and I said something to you and I didn't realize that it hurt you? And you said, Daryl, that hurt me. And we sat down and went, okay, let's figure this out. Did I hurt you? Or was there something in a word that actually triggered something in your past? What if we came together as teammates on a spiritual journey to bring our vibration up at every level that we could? That is the relationship I have with my partner. Okay? And I'll tell you, it offended me at the beginning when people would say, is that your wife? And I go, no, that's not my wife. I don't need another wife. I have a beautiful spirit being that I live with, and I'll be with her for the rest of my life. Okay? Because I don't want to do the wife thing again. The wife and husband thing, no way. I'm not doing that again. Okay? I'm doing the two spirit beings coming together and loving everything about life and being honest with each other and saying, I got your back and you got mine. Okay? Because I'm going to tell you something. After a while, we kind of pin against each other. Okay? And we do. Don't tell me we don't. But what if we came together as two spirit beings that just knew that we had to grow 1% every day, okay, if we wanted to play this game properly? So as far as how do you fix a broken heart, well, you stop breaking it. And you stop making other people responsible for filling it. Because the day that you're thankful, you'll be tank full. And you won't be asking someone to fill it up. Okay? And the reality is, I want you to, what's her name? What was her name? Elizabeth. I want you to go over to the mirror and I want you to say this 10 times. I love you, Elizabeth Sunshine. I love you so much, Elizabeth Sunshine. And every time you do that, do it with more heart, more passion, more love. And look deep in your eyes. I bet you can't do it 10 times. And I bet you can't do it 10 times without choking or crying or by going or doing this. I love you, Elizabeth Sunshine. You know, your mind's going to try to override that, because go try and do it 10 times before you go to bed tonight, and then do it 10 times tomorrow. And then get yourself a hairband, because believe it or not, I had 100,000 of these. There's Braveheart, 3, 2, 1, I got this. And what do I do? What do I do? Every time I feel just a teeny bit of anxiety, I just go 3, 2, 1, I got this. No, that's the old me. No, there's a new sheriff in town. I'm going to snap back to the present moment, because Elizabeth, you would never be in so much pain if you didn't go back to your old subconscious program. If you stayed in the present moment, that's the only place you can heal. It's the only place you can create a new belief. It's the only place you can create a new you. Let me tell you something. If I was single right now, I would be looking for a woman that loves herself so much. She loves herself. You can tell that she truly loves herself. You can see the vibration, the light coming off of her. You know, did you ever take a look at these people that we call saints or Jesus or Buddha, and they had that light, that was love. That was love for themselves and the world. But you got to have it for yourself first. So let's see if you can have this bright light come off of you, because I'm going to tell you something. You can't give what you're not, and you're going to get what you got. And if you've got a broken heart, he's going to have, or she's going to have a broken heart, and you're going to come together and fill each other's heart until you become exhausted. And then it's going to be, don't you love me anymore? Boy, that's where that's going to go. And I know I'm right. You can go back into the history books, and it's going to come up the same thing. It's going to shake out the same thing, you know, until you love, honor, and respect and protect yourself, okay? It's not going to go well, all right? And don't worry. You know, listen, let me tell you something right now. Doesn't it feel great when you meet that new person? Fireworks. My God, you feel all the tingling. You just like can't compose yourself. You can't even sleep tonight. It's like, oh my gosh, I hope he really likes me or she likes me. Let me tell you something. They didn't give you any love at all. All they did was trigger the love that you have for yourself that you've been stuffing. They just had a key to unlock it. Now, what if you were to unlock that every day in every way? Wow. What's going on with you, Elizabeth? Well, I'm falling in love with myself every moment, and I'm loving it. And what do you think? You know, but no, wouldn't want to do that. That would be too selfish. Oh, my God, wouldn't have that much fun. No. Anyways, something to think about. And as far as the courses, to take our whole life coach course, it's $3,500. To do the non-surgical, which is, go take a look at our non-surgical. I'm going to give everybody a gift. Then you'll know a little bit who I am. Go to Masterclass at the top of my page at Detox. Click on Masterclass. Click and then click on A to Z Masterclass. And then type in Wolf Non-Surgical, and you'll save yourself almost $1,000. It's a masterclass. Go and take a look at the domino effect to find out why you feel like you're getting old. It's all about scar tissue. Grandpa, you're as stiff as a board. Why do you have that fibroid? Okay, why do you have arthritis? Why do you have a breathing problem? It's all scar tissue created by inflammation, which was created by anxiety. And it's displaced calcium and its crystallization. If you want to know about the emotional part of the body, then you can go to look in my library, and you can go look at the 12 loving steps. And if you do those, if you were to do even just a love band, a slight smile, let me see if you could hold a slight smile all day long. And if you could, you'll have 30 to 40% more energy at the end of the day. You'll have more smiles from everybody else, and everybody's going to want to know your secret. And you won't have one depressive thought, even if we still can't find Trudeau. Okay? So, and then if you were to connect to your breath and actually do 6 seconds in, 7 seconds out, that means that you are breathing with calm and peace. That means that you own the moment. If you just did those 4 things, you already rocked it. And if you could do that for 30 days, your whole life would change. Because when you change your physical being, you change your mental being. Okay? And when you're alert on your mental, oh my God, there's me getting anxiety. There's me getting depressed. There's me judging. There's me thinking I'm not enough. Get on it. Snap this thing, but don't hurt yourself. Let me tell you something. I went through some rough times. It was probably almost about, I'd say about 22, 23 years ago when I got the Love Band, Life Bang thing going. It saved my life, okay? Somebody in my life tried to commit suicide. I tried everything to save them, okay? I also lost like probably about $1.5 million. And it wasn't even the money, but it was my family that they felt I let them down, but I didn't care. I knew I had to lose all that to gain who I really was. And then, you know what? I came back stronger. Don't think about what you've lost. Think about what you've learned. And then don't stay there burning. Put a smile on your face and go, I got this. And you're never too old to fall in love with yourself. And you're never too old to be successful on any level. And that is the God's truth. And so people usually come and take the whole course, which is the both of them together. They take the bodywork course, and they also take the emotional nutritional course. And that in itself is $8,000. And then they come back the second time, it's 30% off. The third time, it's 30% off. And then they become a master practitioner. And what does that mean? Well, that just means you rock your world. My master practitioners are averaging around $150,000 a year. Okay? So the reality is the most important thing that the world's going to need is health. Emotional health, and they're going to be so dang stiff from all the stress because of all the scar tissue they have from burning up their tissues, because that's what you're doing with the adrenaline and the cortisol, and you're displacing the calcium to buffer down the acid so that you don't have a heart attack or stroke or a seizure or death. Okay, so people, it's all about the health. And understand something, how many body workers actually work with this kind of thing? They don't. Chiropractors try to push the bone back into place or the joint. They don't work with the scar tissue that caused the problem. Massage therapists, they soften it up, but it doesn't last long. Okay, physio, I'm not sure what that's about at all. Okay, acupressure, I'm not sure what that's about at all. I have a doctorate in acupuncture, and it can work, but it'll take forever. But to get rid of the scar tissue issue and get the calcium back into the bones is the holy grail of body work. And then if you can get a person to change their mind, to change their thoughts, you'll change their life. And that's it. Okay? So I don't want somebody that's not going to change. I have a partner that's always willing to change, always willing to look at something new, always willing to have a better life, always questioning and challenging me and herself. So that's the deal. Until you're ready to challenge yourself, leave the world alone. Okay? Because the world's going to do what it wants. But just think, if we all were to take massive personal action and loving and caring for ourselves, who could tell us to do something silly? Who could tell us to do something toxic? And we definitely wouldn't be in the subconscious, unconscious, making, oh, did I just say that? Did I just do that? No, you would learn how to become conscious in the moment so people can't pull your pants down, or you can't pull your own pants down. There you go.
So, we have here Sabrina's asking, so how long is the course and how much does it cost to stay in the area, general cost to stay on the course?
22 days.
She just wants more information about the course. It sounds like she's really interested. And
If
if you do,
go,
tell them that you learned, that you heard about it on the missing link. And, that would be great if anybody's listening and they actually go take his course and, you've, been introduced to Dr. Daryl Wolf through the missing link. Just let them know that. That would be
yeah,
great.
please, because, but I'm not going to tell Jesse. Okay. No, listen, I'm kidding. So if you go to newworldpractitioner.com, you're going to get a lot of information. And if you want to know more, newworldpractitioner.com, and please let me know that you did hear about this through Jesse, because then what we do is that we give Jesse credit. And understand something, Jesse deserves a lot of credit. Okay. Now, the other thing is, if you want to know more about us, go to braveheartnation.com. Okay. Go to braveheartnation.com and you'll learn a lot about the area here and what's going on. We will put on more restaurants. We found some really great food and restaurants here. We have a great juice bar here, but we have a really good community. It's $36 a night when you come to take the course. Okay. So it can be $36 to $45 to stay at the resort. So it's not expensive. And then a lot of people end up staying here, and then they can get an apartment here anywhere from $250 to $4,000, right? And that's in walking distance. So there's many different levels to that you can deal with, and good food is easy to get. Okay, and Zihuatanejo is where the airport is. And it's only 15-minute drive from there. And it truly is one of the most beautiful places and peaceful. When you come here, you'll find out I didn't oversell it. And let me see, what else can I say? Then people will come for the 22 days, but then they'll usually stay. What they'll do is they'll stay about 5 days longer, because if there's not another course starting within a few days, I do at least 2 days. I'll do like 1 day and maybe 3 days or 4 days later do another whole day of refresher. But what's happening is this course is over tomorrow, and then there's a day off, and people are here to take the second or the third course, or they're here to actually help us train. Because once people take our course 3 times and they come and they help us train 3 times, they become, you know what they become? They become master trainers, and they teach for us around the world. And they also go up on our website, which means you'll be swamped. You'll be swamped with work. And there's no extra cost for that. We don't charge for that. And the reason why we do what we do. But you could come one time, take our course, go open up. We'll build you a website for $2,500, and you'll be able to sell all our products. You'll have my library on it. We'll support your marketing. We'll do everything for you. Understand, when people want to become health practitioners, they need to focus on their passion and their dream. Allow us to take care of the other things that cost. I make no money off of it. I make no money off the other stuff. You couldn't find a penny that I get, because I won't do it. And if we do these other things and help to support you, you're not going to fail. If you had to go out and do your own website, do your marketing, okay, and then work on people, yeah, it's really challenging. I don't want to have anybody go into that. I want you to go out. I want you to enjoy yourself. I want you to feel successful as fast as you can. And you can either sell our products or you can be an affiliate, and we'll ship them anywhere around the world for you, and you'll still make the money. We've created a program, and this is not a marketing spiel tonight. I've created the only program like this, the best I can, to ensure your success. Let me tell you something. You don't fail because you're stupid. You fail because you don't get the support that you deserve. And that's what happens to people. Then you're going to tell me, well, 22 days, that's to be a practitioner. Well, let me put it to you this way. I offer a money-back guarantee with all my practitioners that when they go out and they do a treatment on someone, that their treatment will do more in one treatment than all the other treatments combined from anywhere else. Guess who refunds the money for those people? I do. I did one refund in the last 2 years, and I did it 1 week ago. Okay? And I did it for a girl named Jess, and I know how good she is. She's amazing. She just came back for the second time. Okay? And the reality is here, it's all about technique and strategy. And understand there's a genius in all of us. But understand this, the more accredited the school is from the government, the more twisted, toxic, and diluted it is. And the longer you go to a government-approved school, the more programmed you are. Tell me I'm wrong. Go ahead, tell me I'm wrong. And if things were so good out there, okay, why is there millions of natural health practitioners and millions of healthcare people, and 92% of the population has an autoimmune disease, and I offer a money-back guarantee on all my treatments. I offer a money-back guarantee on my courses and my trainings. The first day you come, if it's not for you, we'll refund your money. Okay? Understand, we don't want you in it if it's not for you. We want you to be here because you want to be here. Okay? We want you to be here because you want to change your life. And understand something. We have trainings almost every week. And those trainings are where you'll come on, you'll talk about your patients, you'll talk about what's the problems with them. I'll tell you what I would do. You'll write it all down, and then you'll go knock it out of the park. Whether it's the body work or whether it's the consultation, I'll take responsibility for it. Follow my lead, and you're going to get there. Okay? And don't anybody tell you can't do it. Okay, and I'll have people calling and go, well, Dr. Wolf, like yesterday on my Q&A, Dr. Wolf, I want to come and take your course, but, I live in Ontario, and will I get approved? And I go, listen, nobody can legally tell you can't touch another human being. When I lived in Ontario, okay, when I was a lot younger and I was young, I went and got my registered massage therapist license. First I became a colon therapist, then I got a registered massage therapist license. I mean, the schooling doesn't stop, right? And I went to do that, and after 6 months after getting that, I realized that it wasn't therapeutic at all. I mean, it's nice. I love getting a massage like that. It's great. But the reality is you're not going to reverse physical disorders in people because it's scar tissue, and you've got to use your elbow to do that, gently pulling the fibers apart to allow the flow of the blood and the lymph in, because that actually changes scar tissue back into connective tissue. Okay, I'll tell you what. Jesse, or anybody here, for fun, you got a cane, you come here because you got a bum knee or a hip, all right? I'll do one treatment on you, and then you go and you show people that you can walk out that door, okay, without that cane. So just know this. We have people here. You're going to find out I'm starting another course, and we have a lady that's been in a wheelchair, and she's now walking, okay? When she got here, it took us about 30 minutes to get her up on the table. After doing the non-surgical on her and then using the cell sonic, which is 25,000 volts, she actually picked herself up on the table. So whenever we're done pretending that we can't help anybody. We can. Okay. The reality is it's issues in the tissue and it's scar tissue. Tell me one other therapist on this planet that can remove scar tissue and turn it back into connective tissue. That's the holy grail of healing on the body work. What if I were to give you techniques and show you how to create a perfect day on a nutritional level, diet wise, and on an emotional level that you could work with all your patients? Okay? So, everybody, when you come, you get a 380-page guide. It's not a guide, it's a manual for the non surgical. You get a 360-page guide for the perfect day emotional manual with the nutrition in it. So, understand something. My manuals will come up against any university manual in the world, and you'll find out when you come. Okay? I've been at this since I was 19 years old. Okay? I'm 66. I put Wolf Non-Surgical together when I was 26 years old. Okay? Since I've been in Mexico, we have now taught, we've done 4 classes. 53 was the first one, 42 was the second one, 35 were just finished, and then tomorrow we have 28 people coming to this course. And what do you think? Okay? Yeah. And that's the reality. And understand something. People are leaving with miracle stories, and none of it is a miracle. What if we all got sucker punched? Wow. Isn't it something? All of these practitioners out there, and we can't seem to reverse anything. Well, let's have people come to us and stop treating them and start training them. So now I'm going to teach you, if somebody comes to you, like we have with the perfect pain-free pregnancy, they come for 10 days, okay? I hope you know when they come for 10 days, they pay $8,000. And that a couple comes, they leave knowing how to love themselves, love each other, and how to feed the baby, treat the baby up until it's 2 years. And that's what we teach. And we teach the partner how to do Wolf Non-Surgical so it's a pain-free pregnancy. And we say that the pregnancy should only last 30, maximum 45 minutes without pain. The reason why there's pain is because there's inflammation, there's fear, scar tissue, and displaced calcium. And understand something. You take a look. How many women don't have pelvic rot right now? And remember where the baby's born. Everybody has bowel problems today, okay? And everybody's pooping in their pelvis. And that creates infection, which creates inflammation, which causes tight hips, causes shortening of the ligaments and the tendons, and causes fibroids, causes adhesions. And this is why we're having trouble with babies today. And it's what the mothers are eating. It's the poisons they don't know they're taking in. It's the stress that they have. And they're dumping adrenaline into their system the whole time they're pregnant because we're not sure how to look after ourselves. So then we have 5 other personal treatment and trainings where couples come or singles come or groups come or a person will come to learn our stuff so that they can become the hero for their family. And then we have our courses. And then people will just come to get treatment. You know, there's people that will book in here anywhere from 3 to 6 months. Now, these people have been sick for maybe 8, 10 years. So we tell them, you're going to need 3 to 6 months. You're going have to swim every day, do the juicing, do the whole plant-based diet, get Wolf Non-Surgical, okay? And you're going to have to really work on changing that mind to change that personality so you can change that reality.
That's amazing, and you're really doing good work. Really appreciate, what you're doing for the people, and it's a beautiful thing to witness. I actually got a treatment done on me, a couple treatments from Sage just before you guys went to Mexico. Really, hope to get more treatments done. Ever since I came there, this thing hasn't came off of me. This is your band, Dr. Wolf. It was there last summer. I haven't taken it off since I put it on into your thing. It's just part of who I am now, and I don't have a lot of negative thoughts, so I don't have to click it.
I know.
I don't have to do this much, but I have it there just in case. Any time that I ever need it, then I just snap it a couple times, and it snaps me right back into a better place.
Yeah, well, you're creating a better place for everyone, Jesse, and thank you.
You're very welcome. We have a question here from Roger again. He was, talking again about, he's had a lot of family that's been injected and things. And, part of what they're saying is that it's DNA altering. part of what they're doing is changing people's DNAs. So, you told us about all the good things to help people detox some of this stuff out of their body. Does that, do you know about their DNA, if it's already started to change? It's been a long time, it's been changing. If you can change it back, or what
Yeah,
happens
you
to
can.
people's.
It's about frequency and light. It's always been about frequency and light. Go to the light, Jesse. Go to the light. Okay. We keep telling people that, right? Lighten up. Okay. So, energy medicine is the way of the future. Okay. So, we use Bioptron here. We use Sentient Element here. We use Cellsonic here. We use a lot of other energy medicine equipment. And understand this. I really believe that we're changing it. We're changing it. You know what? It's vibration against vibration, right? So if you have a negative vibration, you have a negative diet, and you've got something negative in your body, how long is it going to take for you to be in trouble?
Not very long.
So you don't think that thought could override something, and that having a really high vibrational diet and high frequency energy medicine, and getting rid of all the scar tissue in your body and getting the calcium back into your bones. What if you could create, what if you could make a man and a woman again, hormonally, like really supercharge their hormones? What would that do?
Pretty huge.
Yeah, well, I'm coming out with a product called IGF-1, 300 milligrams, and we've been working with that. And I would tell anybody that's been vaccinated, if they want to change this, they need to look at advanced water fasting, using high energy nutraceuticals along with water fasting, and then find out how the autophagy, which goes in and eats those things that shouldn't be in the body and eliminates them, and you'll create more stem cells than a $100,000 stem cell injection within 6 days to 9 days if you did an advanced water fast correctly.
We had someone ask here if you have any practitioners in Florida, I believe she said. Cynthia Lee, any master trainers in Florida, and how does she find them?
No. Well, actually, I have to look at that. Let me see. How can I get back to you on that one?
You can let me know, and I can put it into
Yeah,
a
would you
live
do that?
afterwards.
I promise I'll
Yeah.
do that. I will do that. I have to check that. Okay. But Florida was a hotbed for us. We used to do trainings in St. Petersburg. So let me check
Um,
that.
Mitchell's asking, what is plant-based to you now? What does that mean to you?
Well, plant based means man never touched it. Might have planted it, but never touched it. Plant based is plant based. It's not animal based. Okay. So vegetarian. I believe in a whole plant based diet. I don't believe in vegetarianism because that is really a broad spectrum of whatever you're going to eat. It could be fake anything, right? So it just means no animal products. Plant-based means you're not doing animal products and you're mainly doing plant-based. You're doing things like avocado. You're doing things like fruits, vegetables, grains, beans, things of that nature. I'm going to tell you something. Since I've been down here, I've probably, in the last 4 months, I've probably had only maybe a dozen days, maybe 10 days, where I've had more than one meal a day. So if you go a whole plant-based diet, it takes time, but if you go a whole plant-based diet and you drink proper liquids and you know how to look after yourself and detoxify properly, you don't need more than one meal. And eating is probably one of the lowest vibrational things you could do for energy. So just know that personality is the greatest. Faith, belief in oneself, you know, really feeling good about yourself, not putting yourself on the meat hook, judging yourself, shaming yourself, discrediting yourself, talking down on yourself. That's where the energy goes. Okay. Okay. We eat out of boredom. We eat when we're tired. We eat when we're thirsty. Uh, we've been programmed to just eat ourselves to death. Okay. So high vibrational foods. So it's fruits, vegetables, grains, legumes, beans, avocados, you know, but there's so much stuff, just even come down here if you want and do a coconut juice fast. Okay. because that's one of the best ways to do a fast if you want, or to break a water fast. You can break it with coconut juice, and do if you did a fast for 6 days, break it with 3 days of coconut juice. If you did a fast for 10 days, break it with 5 days of coconut juice. So it's whole plant based. Okay, so let's get it as high vibrational. The more man touches something, the more low vibrational it is, because don't mess with perfect. There's no new and improved.
It's about your day of what you consume. Are you, since you've been down there, you consuming a lot more water? Do you consume a lot of
Well,
smoothies
I
and for one meal?
Okay, so today I'm going to tell you the truth. So today, I did the first thing in the morning. I did a liter of hot water with a packet of Black Diamond, but before I did that, I did ionic calcium. It's the only calcium in the world that'll put calcium back into your bones, right? Displace calcium. I do that every morning first. Okay, I did C60, 1 teaspoon, 3 times today. I did do a blender drink around 3 o'clock, a glass strawberry smoothie. Okay, and then before we did the show here, believe it or not, I just had black bean soup and I had a salad. Okay, but I drank about probably 4 quarts of water, but I can go without water here because it's more humid. If I was in Kelowna, it's drier, okay? I would need more water. Here, my skin never looks wrinkled. So where it's dry, like Calgary is dry. So you'd have to drink more water in Calgary. So down here where it's hot and slightly humid, right now it'll be really humid in the summertime, springtime, summertime. But where it's humid, okay, and the sun, you don't need a sauna because you always have your infrared going on. So you're always sweating. That's why you can be so much healthier here, and people won't change their diet. They'll even drink more alcohol. They'll even not eat that well, but they look healthier because they are healthier, because they're right by the ocean. So they're getting iodine. They're getting in the ocean, so they're getting the salt, the cleansing, and they're getting the sun. There's no chemtrails. And the food is pretty pure here, okay, because nobody can afford to spray it, right? So the reality is that, without trying, you're healthier, but if you try, you're really healthy. Look at it. I was talking to a gentleman, Alex, and he's had hardly changed a lot. And he dropped, what do you say he dropped? 22 kilos, okay, since he's been here. And that's only been 6 weeks, right? So it's just the lifestyle. It's more healthier. That's all it is. So, and the reality is you can be really healthy if you want. Like, I haven't gone swimming in 3 or 4 days, but I like to get out there and really swim for 40 minutes, right? Yeah. And then I have an electric bike, but we really go a long way. We do biking, but the trails are really nice here. So it's the lifestyle. I mean, I still work as hard as I did in Kelowna, but I'm living better. And I work as hard as I did because I love my work. And gosh, I don't know anything better than helping out your family, your earth family. I mean, what else better to do, Jesse? You know that. That's why you do this. I mean, you're not doing this because it's financially the greatest thing in the world. You're doing this because you really care. I mean, you'd have to care, right? You're not doing this for likes and views. That's not you. You're doing it because your heart's in it.
Falling.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I used to live in Cancun about 20 years ago. How far is, Ixtapa, where you are, from Cancun? And are the drivers as crazy? The roads as crazy kind of there
Where
where
I live,
you
no.
are as there was in Cancun?
There's 3,000 people living in Ixtapa. There's about 32,000, I think, or 40,000 living in Seawall, and that's about 15 minutes away. But the driving's not crazy. No, because it's only one highway. And guess what? You can't drive crazy because, like, where you would have a light, you've got a bump. And if you hit that bump, you're going to wreck your car.
Yeah, I remember how wild Cancun was because of the spring breakers
I
and
won't go to Cancun.
the
Cancun
bus
is not where you want to
drivers.
go. I will not go to Cancun.
And what you were saying about Mexico being safe is, sure there are some of these cartels and things, but it's an
Okay.
unwritten rule that they're not allowed to touch the tourists
Okay. First
because
of all,
the big money comes in through the tourism, and they don't want to mess with their money. They're all about money, and
I don't
tourists
think they
are
let.
their money.
Yeah, but I don't think that's actually the rule. I'll tell you, I've met some people in the cartel. Okay, that's not really. No, they're pissed off because a lot of their land was stolen. They're pissed off because a lot of their businesses were stolen, and they started it. You know what? I haven't heard one person had a trouble with the cartel ever. Okay, no, no. The odd time you're going to get a policeman who wants to give you a hard time because it's Christmas time or something, or he needs to get a present for his wife or something like that. But I have never heard anything cartelish at all. Nothing. I'm telling you the truth.
Some
Yeah, yeah.
So, what else did you want to share with us about, like, here's your time to shine, and, you sure have been shining here for us. Anything else you wanted to let people know about, what your thoughts are on where we are, or, what's, what do you want people to hear?
You better take it personal. Take everything I said tonight personal in the way that you're going to take personal action, okay? And your main focus is going to be on you, loving and caring for yourself. I promise you your kids won't drown in the tub, and nobody will steal your life away, and you won't hurt anybody by loving yourself. People have been programmed to believe that loving oneself is a very selfish thing. But let me ask you a question, everybody that out there that has children or thinking of having children. Would you like your children to love themselves 10%, 20%, 50%, 90%, or 100%? I think most people would say, if they thought about it, I want my child to love themselves 100% because that's the only way I know that they're going to protect themselves. Well, you can't give what you're not. Your kids are you. What would happen if you totally did that? Eventually, you'd see change of your family. At the first, it would disrupt them, though, because they won't be used to that type of personality. It's like a new person moved in. I get it. And but just try it out. Try it out. Go do the mirror work. Go go do the mirror work and do the braveheart oath. Okay, all right. You know, I am love. I am healed. I am braveheart. Today and every day, from the moment I rise until I gently close my eyes, I will love, honor, respect, protect, and forgive myself first and foremost before anyone else or anything else. So help me God. I am healed. I am love. I am braveheart.
Man,
Yes.
I love that.
Hmm.
Your website, you got the docofdetox.com at the bottom there. What can they find on your website?
First of all, go to the library. It's all free. Um, there are years and years and years of work in there to help you show the domino effect of how you got into the problem and how you're going to get out of that problem. And also, you might want to go and check out getting a perfect day consult from one of my master consultants. It's $150. You'll get the perfect day guide. It comes with it. That's a 320-page manual. You'll get that sent as a PDF. You'll get an hour-long audio sent to you, the consultation. And then you'll have lifetime support from us. I don't care if you call us 1,000 times, because love and life is a language that we don't know how to speak, and we want to teach you how to speak that. We want you to feel it. And we have to give you unlimited calling and understand something. Challenge us, challenge yourself, and never stop asking questions. until you have all the answers, until you become the answer. That's what I would tell you.
That's beautiful. You're such a beautiful man.
Yeah.
Great hair. So what's your plans for the rest of the evening?
My son is here, Jara from Toronto. He's a choreographer for the National Ballet and for the Royal Ballet, and so we're going to meet up with Sage, and we're going to get together, and who knows? Maybe we'll go to the beach for a little bit, and then we'll just come and chill out, because tomorrow morning I've got a shooting to do. Jay Lee has flown in from New York, the guy where his father invented the only calcium in the world that actually can put the bone calcium back into your bones and totally renew your bones. So we're going to do a show on that, and then tomorrow we've got 30 some practitioners graduating, so that'll be over, and then I've got to go in and change out the room, because I start the whole life coach the following day on Saturday, and so here we go again.
It's middle of winter here in Canada, and it's been really, really cold here in Alberta.
Yeah.
It's going to be warming up to like plus 10 or 12. But what's the temperature like? There in Celsius? I'm not sure if you know the Fahrenheit as well, but what kind of temperatures right now in the winter time do you have in Ixtapa, or where you're
28, 29 every day.
Wow.
And I got to tell you that I've been here for the rainy season we came. It was in September. We're still in the rainy season. October, it was leaving pretty well in October, and then since then, I bet you we only had about 6 days of cloud, and those days were still 28, 29, right? Yeah. So
What's the coldest you've seen it there since, like at nighttime, or like what's the coldest it's been there since you've been there for the last 4 or 5 months?
Well, when I went to Morelia, it was only 5.
Wow, is that a little higher altitude then?
Yeah, it was. It's 28 in the day and it's 5 at night. It's really cold. So yeah, it's you're right up in the mountains. Okay, there's a place it's called Casa Magdalena, and this is like a 5-acre property, and it's got 15-foot walls all around it, and it's like the secret garden. And there was this lady, 95. No, she would be 95 now. Yeah, so it was probably about 65 years ago. She planted all this garden. The husband was a real businessman. He built the place for her, and now it's just like unbelievably gorgeous, and it's right in the middle, and almost 1 million people live in this city, and it's right in the middle on top of the highest part of the city, and you wouldn't even know it was there. So that's where we stayed when we went to Morelia to do the Greater Reset.
And about how far is that? Like, did you guys drive there? Or
It's 5.5 hours, and so when you go there, Jesse, it's only a 2-lane highway going this way and this way, right? But the whole way with the traffic is you're half on your side and their side, because you're passing trucks all the way. And the trucks and the cars are all on the side of the curb running the whole way. And there's always a car running down the middle. So we always try to leave early in the morning, because planet Earth is a fun-filled, life-threatening adventure.
So you're doing a little bit of slalom as you're kind of going through these cars all trip long.
Yeah.
That's
and it's
exciting.
beautiful mountains, all the way. And cactus that is 15, 20 feet tall.
Do they do any skiing there? Is the mount
Another 3 hours north is skiing. But in Morelia, you can go paragliding, okay?
Have you ever done that?
Well, you know what? The first time we went, I didn't go because I was so busy working on a project. That's my excuse. And then this time I had to go do the Greater Reset, but my son went and his girlfriend went. But last time Sage and a whole crew went, and they just loved it. They said it's the most amazing thing ever. So you go on with somebody, so you're in front, okay? And they're like this, and you have your hands up with them, and you're working this thing, and they're taking you right along the mountain walls, like maybe 10 feet away, and you're just gliding like this and swooshing. I mean, I watched them. It was like, yeah, it's mind blowing. Yeah.
Will you do it one of these days?
Yeah, I will. I'll do it after, not this course, but the next course. I have 4 weeks off.
Any plans to go to Mexico City? I was there for about 2 or 3 months, so 20 years ago, and at the time there was 12 million people that lived there and 3 million people that came there for work every day. So there's 15 million people in that city every day.
I have to
I'm
go
sure
there.
I'm sure it's a lot more now.
I think I'm flying there on Friday because I have to go and see the lawyer to sign the papers so that I can take my corporation. And because you have to have a corporation to be here, right? Yeah. And do business. So I'm gonna. The corporation is there. I got to go sign the papers, get the corporation into my name, and then come here. So, yeah, I'm not gonna stay long.
So does that, once you have that corporation, with your visa there, does that allow you to stay there as long as you want without having to leave? Because when I went there, I had to leave the country. I was able to go 6 months, and then I had to leave the country every single 3 months. So I lived in Cancun, so I just
Well,
hopped over to Belize and back just
well,
to get
now you can
visa.
do 6 months, and I can tell you a lot of other things that you can do too.
You got a good lowdown on what's going on there.
Let's put it this way. I really like Mexico, and I like the way it functions. And yeah, I think they've got one wonderful president. I mean, he told Biden and Trudeau at the meeting that he last had, go home and clean up your own mess and stop making my people into your slaves. So, and I'm not going to force vax them. So that discussion's over.
Wow,
But it
that's
doesn't.
amazing.
But it doesn't mean that the pharmaceuticals aren't all throughout the country, and it doesn't mean that people aren't wearing masks. I mean, the reality is that he stands up for his people. I mean, he broke the backs of all the unions that were trying to break the backs of the people down here. I mean, he really is a great president. The guy really cares. It's unbelievable. It really is. They're very fortunate to have him. He's a real humanitarian, Jesse.
So being down there permanently and you don't want to leave in the foreseeable future, is that something that you would get a Mexican citizenship, or does that play into the cards?
Um, if I wanted to, I could, but I don't know if I really want to do that. But I will have permanent residence here, and gee whiz, once you have that, and seeing that I'm over 65, it's only $1.50 to go to the movies. So why would I leave?
I know back 20 years ago they had some kind of rules that you couldn't own a business or a property
When
unless.
you're a permanent resident and when you have a corporation, you can.
Oh, you can, because
Yeah.
otherwise you had to be a 50% partner or something with a Mexican.
Yeah,
I know there was some
but
kind of
but yeah,
rule.
they want to know that you know, you're not going to invest and then rip the people off. Okay, like in
So
Zihuatanejo, the most beautiful part of Zihuatanejo that overlooks the bay and it's just gorgeous. That's where the locals live, and the Chinese have been trying to buy the whole mountain out. They'll do anything to get their hands on it. Okay, and the mayor there and the people that live there say that's never going to happen. We are going to give the best view to our people.
Chinese have tried to infiltrate everywhere. They've obviously infiltrated Canada, especially with, the Trudeau allowing it. And in Vancouver, lots of investments drove up the prices, a lot of empty places.
Right.
Are they trying to move in? Like, have you seen a big presence
No,
of Chinese in Mexico at all?
no, no, I have not. But, I heard a story, though, because I have some people here that are taking my course. I've got some health professionals and a doctor taking my course here from Singapore. And they were saying that in China right now, they have a bolt lock on the outside of the door so you can't even leave your house. they come and undo the lock and the bolt, give you your food, but you can't leave your house.
Wow.
I'm serious. And I'm just like, holy smokes.
I heard something a month ago about they were locked in their houses, but I didn't know to the extent that they came and they padlocked everybody
The
in.
military put a bolt on with a lock.
So is this like the entire population
I
type
don't
of thing,
think
or is
so.
it
I don't
certain,
know.
certain
Well, they wouldn't go
certain
up into the
cities?
villages. They're going to go into the cities and do it. Remember what I said? It's all about the low-hanging fruit. They don't want to work too hard. I want to be home by supper.
Wow. Have you seen a lot of people from a lot of different, places coming there? Is there a lot of
Oh my
traveling?
gosh,
Like,
from all over the world. All over the world. We have people from New Zealand, Australia, Germany, Singapore, Thailand, Russia, France. This is just in my course. Yeah. Yeah.
so Australians are allowed to leave because I know they're pretty
Oh,
locked down
well,
right
no,
right now.
they figured it out. I think you had to fly to, okay, from Australia, you could still fly to this place. Okay, anyway, so the last person that came from Australia said I had to fly halfway around the world and then come back. It was the only way I could get here. So places that they weren't shut down to fly to, she flew to, and she played a chess game to get here.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
But it's done where there's a will, there's a way.
Where there's a will, where there's a way. Yeah. Yeah.
How about from Arlene's asking, how does she get out of Canada? Like, if she wanted to come and she's not jabbed, do you know, can you give her any advice on how she could get to Mexico?
Okay, well, I'm not going to try to give her advice. The only thing I know is I had a couple come in today, and they just took a bus across, and I said, well, how'd you get across? And they go, well, there's an app. We downloaded the old vaccine passport, and we showed it to them. It worked. It was just on their phone. So I'm not telling her to do it, but I don't know what to say. Then there was people there's Bravo Air. There's another air that's flying people out. There's a couple of private airplane companies that are flying people out. I had somebody that just, what they just did? They just took a helicopter from Vancouver Island and took the helicopter right into Seattle. They dropped them off, and they had a flatbed take their truck across into Seattle, and they picked their truck up and they just drove down here.
Wow. So there's a will, there's a way.
That's right. That's right. And they came down to for a year to take the whole training and stay here for a year.
So Patricia's saying people at the border really don't give a poo right now. She doesn't think is that
if people want, they can send an email to nat@docofdetox.com, nat@docofdetox.com, and then we send a letter saying, because let's say Jennifer Smith. Jennifer Smith is coming down to Ixtapa, Mexico, to the World Healing and Training Center for special treatment and training, and she'll be here for 6 months. And we sign it, and believe it or not, people are still getting through with that. So, I don't know. It depends on who you're going to get, right? Oh, just go ahead, right? Or, yeah, just... So we still have people getting through with that letter and driving.
And we truly are manifestors and creators. And if you can manifest that,
Never give up.
The Red Sea's just gonna part. The Red Sea's gonna part, and you're gonna make it there. But if you're afraid and you believe, oh no, I don't want to get caught. I don't want to get caught. This is all gonna go wrong. Well, guess what? It probably will go wrong for you. It's all depending on where your head and heart space is when you're trying to do something like this, for sure.
And there you go. You just said it. That's what this whole planet's about. So image creates thought. Thought creates what? Thought creates emotion. Emotion creates feelings. Feelings create frequencies. And frequencies create matter. E equals mc squared. Energy creates mass. So your end result is from the image you started with.
Our good friend Patricia here, she lives in Mexico, and she said she commuted between Tijuana and San Diego the entire scandemic when it was supposed to be essential travel only, and nobody said anything to her.
Yeah, it depends on who you're getting, who you get. Depends on the mood they're in. Depends on whether they want to hold the line or they look at you and go, "Hey, my brother." Yeah.
Here's another comment from Carolina. She says, in Europe, people just drive to every country, no problems. It's just media play. The media are scaring people more than they're actually, making, problems at the borders.
Oh, but gosh, how many people are scared to come down to Mexico here? I'm safe. I feel safer here than I ever felt in Canada. I really do. So, it's the story you're told. Hey, listen, you know what? It's like anything else. Tell a story long enough and strong enough, and it becomes reality, even if it's not true. We're living it now.
The Twilight Zone. I know you got to go see your son. I'd love to talk to you more. Maybe we'll talk again in the near future. You're always a pleasure to talk to. I could sit here and talk to you and have questions for hours, but it is 9:52, almost 10 o'clock. It's coming up on your time. So,
Really?
Thanks
Well,
very much.
It didn't feel like it, Jess.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And, just for, being able to spend this time with us. I know you're a busy man and you're doing a lot.
Oh my God, Jess. You know what? You're a busy man, okay? I'm no busier than you or anybody else. We're all busy. We're all busy. And you know what? It's just been an honor to be here, okay? If we can just make another person happier or get them to buy into the belief that they're beautiful, then it's been a great day.
Then it makes it all worth it, 100%.
It's been a great day. It's been a great day.
Well, one last plug for yourself.
One last plug for myself. Just know that if I can do it, you can do it too. Okay? Just know that you are so much more when you find your roar, Braveheart. God bless and have a good night.
Have a good night. Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow. We've got 3 missing links tomorrow. We start off with Dr. Scott Perlman. He's a chiropractor out of the USA who's totally, knows about what's going on, so that's going to be interesting. We've got Tommy Vatanana. He had an NDE. And he's gained a whole bunch of powers from it, and he's got a lot of information for us. And then we got Heather Fair, who's going to be talking about pregnancy and about how to help with birthing, what they're doing with the medical system, and how to be able to have a baby more organically than what they're trying to push these drugs on us. So thanks again for being a part of the Missing Link. Thanks for all your likes, comments, shares, and please support Dr. Daryl. And if you do subscribe to any of his stuff, tell him you came from the Missing Link, and it would be appreciated. So thank you, Dr. Daryl, and say hi to your son from me and the Missing Link, and from all of us here in freezing cold Canada. Please send us some good weather. So thanks again, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye, everyone.
Bless you, my friend. Good night now.
Bless you, brother.
Bye now. It's not good enough to have the most powerful courses, treatments, and training. We want to deliver to you
the adventure of a lifetime that's going to last a lifetime. And I'm going to take you on a little adventure right now and show you what we are going to deliver. What are we going to deliver? We are going to deliver the authentic you, the real you, the genius inside. How would you like to become not just the master of your mind, but the master of your body, the master of your life? You know what? The most important world is your world, and we're about to show you how to create it.
Found Dr. Wolf and all his positivity and trying to reshape our way of thinking and help me be a better person, a better mom, better wife. I'm glad I found him in person in Ixtapa, Mexico.
Never limit yourself to beautiful, because that's what you are. Take a look at this beautiful place. We all deserve beauty in our life. You need to create a new program that is unlimited when it comes to things that are beautiful, things that make you happy, things that make you shine, things that make you feel excited. Let's get excited.
This guy's got something really interesting to say and he's sharing it really openly and just really not caring what other people think, and I just thought that was really empowering.
What I've learned in my life is this: to be the change you wish to be the change you wish to see, Braveheart, you have to understand you take life one step at a time.
Dr. Wolf, as many people will have seen, is very direct and straight and will take you to the edge of the cliff, as he says, and then pull you back just in time.
Never lose your focus. Never lose your dream, because you are the dream maker. It's called image, but guess what? It's your imagination. The image that you hold creates the thought that you live with. That thought creates an emotion that creates a frequency, and we know that the invisible creates the physical. I mean, that's quite obvious. So be the power that you seek, and understand something, that all your thoughts matter. And guess what? Unless you're willing to take a look at those thoughts and retrain your brain, change your personality, you'll never change your reality, and your reality could become infinite.
He's a wealth of information, and I love it.
You were created by your creator to create. So let's create something amazing together.
I found Dr. Wolf and I went, wow, here's a truth speaker. And he spoke to my soul, and he spoke truth.
So tell me what you think of the destination that I came up with my imagination to hold the whole life coach certification for you. Understand something. It's all about beauty. It's all about adventure. It's all about stimulating the mind, okay? And understanding that your mind is unlimited. And that is what the whole life coach certification is all about. In the whole life coach certification, we are going to go deeper. We have people coming to us, professionals coming to us, from doctors to nurses to accountants to oil riggers to mothers that want to expand their life. And when they come here, they go, I need to learn to help my family, or I want to improve my business. But guess what? We get into their business. When they leave, they become the change that they wish to see, that they wish to be. They become the gift to the world, because when you can stay in the present, and you can't do that until you have unconditional love and care for yourself. And I'll tell you something right now. I have hardly even found 1 out of 1,000 practitioners, or even so-called whole life coaches, that can hold the present moment and own it and then give it as a gift. And this is what I'm going to give to you. And when you come here, this is where you're going to come into this room when you need to find alignment, you need to find balance, and you need to get back into your lion heart breath, because we're going to go deep into your heart, and we're going to become the spark that you seek.
And actually what I really love about Dr. Wolf's teachings is that unconditional love is literally it. And then you're like, how can it be that easy? That's just silly. So, but it's really not.
Come play, come stay, come train with us today. Understand something. I know we have fear. but understand, that's just false evidence appearing real. I get it. Stick your toe in, feel the water, but then I want you to dive right in, because
How I found my Braveheart was through Daryl. He really teaches you to go within and go in through your heart and not your mind, because your heart's a lot more connected to so much more than your mind. Your mind is just so conditioned, and your heart is just so open and beautiful.
you're the answer that you've been looking for. Let me teach you how to fly. What does that mean? First, love yourself, Braveheart. Let's take life in and win.
I had just lost my husband a couple of years ago. With his passing, he gave me the greatest gift, to love myself. But Dr. Wolf gave me the greatest gift in understanding that.
I had a dream 3 years ago that I would live in Mexico and I would have this training center, this teaching center, this treatment center that would touch the world. Your dreams are never too big. And when they start to create a little bit of anxiety, turn them into excitement. And get excited, because this is your life.
He's the first person, doctor, that I have encountered that has truly given me the truth, and not just half-truths, but the full truth. So it's been revolutionary for me in my healing process.
And this, my friend, when you take on the dream of all dreams, and you realize that if you stay connected to your breath, that you can have it all. Do not let anybody take your breath away. Do not let anybody steal your dream, okay? Listen, God gave you imagination. This is your sandbox of life. Take your life back. Right now, we are teaching courses to people that have come from all over the world, and the government is saying you can't travel, you can't breathe, you can't have this, you can't come together. Yes, we will. And we will do it with unconditional love for each other. And we will learn to grow. We will not judge each other. We'll observe and see where we can support each other. But at the same time, we will hold the Braveheart line, because this is the only way that we can grow. So find your roar, because you're so much more. And learn this. You are the unconditional love that you've been looking for. You are the dream maker. I can't wait to see you. We want to become that small piece of the puzzle that brings your dream together. Thank you. Let me ask you a question. What do you think it would take to turn your life around? I can tell you right now, I learned that a long time ago, what the key was. And anybody that has been able to perfect the perfect day on an emotional, physical, and spirit level knows this. The answer is massive, personal action. That's what it's going to take for you to turn your life around. And to turn your life around, you're going to have to go within if you want to change without. And that's the bottom line. And you know, people think that they can do it like with a consultation, or maybe they can do it with a telephone call, or a Band-Aid, or a 911 emergency, a treatment. But understand, that's not the way it is. The day that you realize that when you master your mind is the only time you're going to master your body. Forget your life. That's always going to be just random luck until you know that you must become the master of your day. From the moment you rise until you gently close your eyes, you must be the only authority for you. And if you think that getting an hour consultation is going to do it, it's not. If you think that going for therapy is going to do it, it's not. You have to submerge yourself into what we would call the personal treatment and training. And you need to do that from anywhere from 6 days to 10 days, or you need to come for my whole life coach certification, because if you don't go in deep, you'll never make changes. They say it takes 10,000 times for you to repeat something before it becomes a prominent, dominant thought. And if you understood that 70 to 90% of all your thoughts are not yours, and they say that 70% of your thoughts are toxic, tell me they're not. Take a look at the majority of the population. 92% of the population has an autoimmune disease, which means the body is attacking itself. Before that, though, the person was attacking themselves on a subconscious, unconscious level. And that, my friend, is the bottom line, and why you must take a personal treatment and training and go deep and understand how to run your life. What that means is learning how to think, how to drink, how to eat, and knowing when somebody is mistreating you, when someone is disrespecting you, because until you honor and respect yourself, no one else is going to do it. So understand, this is your life. If you want to live your passion and purpose, then you must become the master of your mind to become the master of your body so that you can become the light for your family. So please, consider this. You've got the time and you've got the money, because you're going to change the rest of your life for the rest of your life, and that's my guarantee to you.